Welcome to the Right Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Williams, best-selling romance author, book coach, and founder of Serenade Publishing. I've been an avid reader since I could hold a book and have spent over a decade immersed in the world of writing, editing, and publishing fiction. I know firsthand what it takes to turn a love of storytelling into a sustainable, soul-aligned author career. Each week, I share real talk about writing fiction, marketing smarter, and staying inspired, along with up-to-the-date industry insights and strategies that are working right now. You'll also hear from fellow authors, editors, and industry experts who are out there doing the work and making waves. Here, we put the woo in the work of writing, publishing, and growing your author business. Think of this as your creative business pep talk, packed with heart, hustle, and a little bit of magic. So get cozy and join me. Your writing journey starts now. Hey scribes, Sarah here. Today on the show, I'm thrilled to be chatting with the amazing Lee Savino, a powerhouse romance author and someone who's just as passionate about helping writers as she is about telling steamy, high-stakes love stories. Lee's journey is one so many of us can relate to, from being a lifelong reader with a creative itch to carving out a career on her own terms, despite what others expected. In this episode, we're talking about owning your identity as a writer, embracing the creative fire inside you, and building a career that actually works for you. Whether you're just getting started or deep in the publishing trenches, Lee brings so much wisdom, honesty, and encouragement. Let's dive in. Today, I have the lovely Lee Savino joining me. Welcome to the Right Podcast.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Thanks for having me.
Not a worry. I'm super excited to be talking to you. You have written so many books and had such a dynamic and successful writing career. I would love if you can take us back to how it all started and what was the moment you knew that this was your path?
So I was a big reader in grade school and lost myself in my own little world in the books, and just fell in love with books like Watership Down by Richard Adams, which really expanded my concept of what a novel could be. And I definitely read the classics and then got tired of the misogyny and started reading genre fiction and devouring fantasy novels, sci-fi novels, and eventually came to romance. I think romance was almost last, other than horror, which I still can't read. It's really hard for me to read horror, but I read everything and always have. And eventually someone was like, your daughter's a good writer, to my mom. And she encouraged me to go to university for creative writing, but then told me, my parents were basically like, you have to get a job. You can't be a creative. You can't make a living as a creative, even though I have a particularly unique set of skills and neurodivergent brain, which means forging my own path, being an entrepreneur, taking control of my destiny, not asking permission actually works better for me than any other system. Although I can excel in a system, like I need freedom, and I am fiercely creative, and also a little bit of just a battering ram when it comes to doing what I want and getting what I want. Although I did get a job and I thought, I'll be in sales and figure out how to invest my money and build passive income, and then I can be an artist. And then I met my husband and he could support me, and I just convinced him, I was like, I'm going to be an author. We want kids, and this is a good time, while I'm basically about to be a mom. I want to start writing and publishing, and just gave myself permission, because we don't live in a permission market anymore. We give ourselves permission. And it's so interesting how school drums out of us our freedom and our creativity. It really puts us in a box. And I think I just taught a writing seminar for a commune. It was really cool. But people there were like, okay, I guess I'll show up to hear about becoming a writer. And I stood there and spent 3 hours convincing them that they were creative enough, brilliant enough, that they had the ability to be writers. And we literally wrote things. So I was like, well, look at this evidence. You are a writer. And they still stared at me like, what? I'm creative. I can be creative. I can be wild. I can be free. I think that capitalism means we are like, oh, if I'm a writer, that means I'm like Stephen King, or I'm like a journalist, or a pulp writer even. And people are almost sheepish if they're like, well, I haven't written in a long time, or I used to write and I've got some things published, but I haven't done it lately, or I've never done it for money, as if that legitimizes it, where it's like, really, when you're creative, you write because the stories pour out of you, the characters pour out of you. It's messy. You don't care. You're in love with it. Eventually, you might take the time to start shaping it and create something just as well. It's almost in response to what you found so beloved about the books you wrote. Like, I write out of the overflow. You want to know where the books are coming from? I read so much, it overflows. And writers and talking to writers are my favorite people. So I just put my daughter to bed, and we're going to have to wrestle my son to bed late tonight. It's kind of past my bedtime, but I want to show up and talk to authors because I freaking love authors. So many of us are neurodivergent. We're creative. We're sensitive. We're empathetic, which is scientifically backed. The empathy of people who read, it expands your minds. It allows you to walk in someone else's shoes. Like, I freaking love what I do, and I freaking love the power in it. And I don't think people recognize how effing powerful they are, and how, yes, you can make a lot of money at this. And I kind of preach that because I didn't think I could, but forget the money, guys. You can just be wildly creative and weird, and you can have fun with your life, and you can live 1,000 lifetimes in a book. And you can also do other things. You can have all your reading and your writing influence. Maybe you end up on stage. Maybe you end up screenwriting. Maybe you do YouTube channels, which are pretty much like syndicated shows these days, right? You're doing a podcast. Like, we can be wildly creative. Please don't pigeon yourself, and don't think, oh, I haven't written a book yet, or I've never gotten anything published. And that keeps you from being a writer. You are a writer, and the faster you claim the identity, the floodgates open, and you will pour out writing, script ideas, poetry, just the beautiful mess of creativity, because you've just finally given yourself permission. Can you tell I'm rereading Women Who Run with the Wolves? It's like,
I know that book.
empowering me, and I'm like, I'm here to speak life into people. I'm here to like tell people that they can be creative. I looked at these people who wouldn't even allow themselves to call themselves writers. One dude was like, I am a writer. But even it was like wrestling with him verbally to get him to be like, well, I used to do spoken word poetry. And like, because you wrote it, because you're a writer. And like, the proof is here. I can give you your stack of journals and say, look at what's come out of your big, beautiful brain. It's messy, but that's what creativity is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a mess.
Yeah.
And I really think the more we start embracing the muse, I call it the muse and the manager. The muse is wild, creative, free, out in the forest, making daisy chains, running amok, throwing off her clothes probably, making friends with wolves, being wild, getting down and examining things closely, and then climbing to the tallest tree or the highest cliff and looking down from above with different perspectives, with different people, not unafraid of all the telling herself good stories. Like, oh, the world is here. I'm going to explore it. And that person may not look like me, but they have a story, and I have a story, and that makes us brother and sister. Like, really wild and free. And then there's the manager, and she's like living in fear and going, well, this might not work again, and we better not take any risks. And it really is just a biological state of fear and trying to protect you from not getting an A or something, or your pastor saying something. I wouldn't write for years because I was afraid what my church would say. And then I was like, well, I'll just leave the church. Anyway, this has gone off the rails, I know, but it is after my bedtime, and I've been reading books about tarot and women who run feminism, and I've been reading about a lot of scary, horrible things going on in the world, which is really making us want to retreat into the manager, into fear. And I am literally getting coaching with Becca Syme, who coached me 10 years ago. And I'm like, Becca, I did everything. I got the money. I have a career. I've written so much. I want to keep writing. I still love this, but I'm so burnt out, stressed, tired. Why? And she's like, well, you're in fear. You're just afraid and you're shut down, and that's natural and normal. We went through the pandemic. You had 2 kids. You built a career. You're supporting your family. And then it feels like the world is collapsing a little bit. And it's okay. You're afraid. But the way for you to get on the other side of it is to slowly teach your body that you're safe. It's just body-based stuff. And then slowly pour out that fear and wander creatively. So I'm reading comic books. I'm going to comic books and kind of comic book shops and just pouring over, graphic novels because it's different. I'm walking into bookstores and browsing, but not buying anything. I'm just going on artist dates and just trying to tap into my creativity, because that's what the muse would do. The muse is just like, oh, that forest path looks interesting. I'm going to go down it for 3 hours. And you end up learning about Kabbalism and the tarot and esoteric religions and the definition between esoteric and exoteric and the nuance in that and what that might mean. I did not know the real definition of esoteric. Anyway, and that's good. That's where your best story ideas come. And we're talking to authors here, so I know this is how our weird brains work. You get it. And I just need you to give yourself permission to be even weirder. Because when we calm down, when we are the muse and not in fear, we dump the fear out of the entire world. We write stories that are uplifting, that are beautiful, or cathartic. Maybe they're horror stories and they're just super cathartic. We give empathy to people, especially if your stories are really, really addictive and maybe written for kids, so the kids can be reading them and exploring new worlds and learning empathy. What we do is so powerful, so amazing, so spiritual. And in this world right now, I think we go to institutions for spirituality and we don't tap into the wild creativity that is the real spirituality. So we need new language for spirituality. That's what I want to help actually birth in the world. And I know this is crazy. You probably wanted me to come here and talk about having a career. I'm talking about having a calling, because that's just where I'm at. I'm like, this is a calling. You'd be crazy to choose this as a job. My parents were right. And I do talk about making a lot of money because I definitely won capitalism a little bit. But ultimately, capitalism isn't what gives me satisfaction. It's community, and it's being weird and sharing my weird with the other weirdos. And we all celebrate werewolves and romance, and it's nuts. And it's awesome. And it's why we're here on Earth. I believe we're on Earth to choose love over fear. And when we choose love, we are creative. We open ourselves up. We make ourselves vulnerable. We come in a podcast and say whatever's on our head, not the formula, not any 5 steps, not anything safe, but just nutty ravings.
If you were going to do it on any podcast, this is the podcast to do it.
I figured there's people on this podcast that are like, I'm a writer and it's a calling. Yes. This is important. And yeah, capitalism, whatever, money, sure. I need to eat. But I could also just tell stories by the campfire and people will feed me. Like,
Absolutely.
we're coming into a time where AI can mimic being human, but we are human and only we can be human. And so, what makes you human? What makes you weird? What interests you? What do you pull through you? So, you go out, you wander, you learn this stuff, and you have this crazy diasporic lived experience that no one else on earth has. And then you pull the story through you and you let it out, and we get to see through your eyes for a second, or your characters, whatever. And we live another lifetime and we learn a little bit more and we have a better life because of it. I'm blown away by what we get to do. I don't care if you've never made money from it. I don't care if you never write anything ever again. I don't care if you wrote one sentence and just shared it with someone. You are a writer. I need you to claim that identity. When you claim that identity, your entire subconscious mind will go to work building evidence, building belief, and allowing the words to pour out of you onto the page, or you dictate them, or whatever. You write a book, you write a poem, you write a haiku. It comes out of you because you claim the identity first. And so I need as many people to claim the identity and make a world where everyone is claiming the identity of creative, creator, writer, because my kids are 7 and 9, and I really need the world to be happy, golden, wonderful, safe, beautiful, amazing for them. So I need everyone to step up.
Yep.
All the children right now, and do your best and pour out your fear, choose love, choose creativity, choose, maybe that means getting quiet and going off alone. That's okay. Choosing to build community when you can, engage, love people, or write books for them and love them through the books if you can't stand people and don't want to leave your house.
Yeah. Plenty of us are those too. I love that, and your story resonates so much with mine. And yes, this is the platform. We put the woo and work here, so I'm all for that. I'm pretty sure if anyone's been turned off so far in the first 15 minutes, and that's fine, they're not our vibe. So that's cool. But I love, because I was the same way. I was raised in a very conforming society. You had to be this sort of person. And if you were any shade of weird, we had to get rid of that. And so I made, decisions that I wouldn't have made had I known, or had I been in a better, more supportive, creative society. And now on the other side of that, I am finding so much joy from being creative and creating books and all sorts of art and music and dancing and all these sorts of things. And we do get this one wild and crazy life, so why not live it to the absolute best that we possibly can? And I'm a big believer in manifestation and the law of the universe and law of attraction and everything. So I know you'd feel the same way. If we put our energy into this beautiful creativity, we will get the energy of abundance coming back. So that's how we can make the money out of it as well.
Agreed. Yeah, just read this. It's about the Queen of Wands, who in the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck is this woman. She has her legs apart, which means she's very open sexually and very open creatively, but she's settled with flowers around her, and she is the spark of creativity. And I had to, or she's mastered creativity, really. And it says, there was a screenshot and I am digging for it right now because it was so good. But it was basically like the world, nature, knows when someone loves it and drinks it in and savors the juice of life, sort of thing. And it knows that and it protects them. And I loved that because I'm feeling pretty unsafe right now with politics stuff and just horrible stuff going on right now in my country that I love. That is a beautiful country and filled with many people who are awesome, most of all immigrants. Mm-hmm. But I'm sitting here freaking out, and then, okay, got to get calm, put my kid to bed. So I'm just reading, right? I'm reading to expand my mind, to calm my mind. And it said, enjoy life, and you will be protected because life will want to continue to be enjoyed by you. And Alan Watts says that. He says the universe is looking at itself through you, like it's observing itself. And then Rumi says you are the universe in a static motion. And you just quoted Mary Oliver, who said, what are you going to do with your one wild life? So even if you don't buy into maybe the quantum physics of this universe has to be observed to exist, that's okay. You don't have to. What if you really, really, really enjoy your day? Acknowledge all the riches that you do have. I'm acknowledging the safety and protection I do have, which will allow me to have a good night's sleep, which will allow me to be creative in the morning. And if that means, getting my kids out of a scary situation in my country, I will do that. If that means taking a training on how to film ice, before they deport my neighbors, I will do that. And choosing love over fear every time, in every moment, and knowing that fear is there to protect me. And ultimately fear is also love. Fear is a self-love. So then all of my choices are love, and it's okay. Yeah, it just sucks right now. It's a little scary in the world, which doesn't make it easy to be creative, which is why being creative is such a wild, bonkers, amazing. It's a calling. It's a weird calling for us. And I love that we're answering the call. And I really love that we're putting the call out to other writers, to other authors. And I had a teacher say, if you've written something, you're a writer. And if you've ever had anything published, even in a school newspaper, you are a published writer. So please, if you're listening, let me wave my magic writer pen and fairy godmother you into some belief that you are a writer and you're not an imposter. You were born to write that story in your head, or at least dictate some scenes about it and write down some notes on scraps of paper. That counts, because it's all fuel for the next project and the next and the next and the next. And yeah, I just believe this is a calling. And so if you're listening, please honor the calling. You do not have to quit your job or go crazy or shun your family. Write when you can, write on your phone, let it pour out of you, and know that your words matter. These books I'm reading, that give me so much hope, they were because someone made space in their life to be creative. And they probably were not told from birth that they were a genius, creative person who was going to write the next great novel or whatever. They kind of blundered into that on their own, listened to maybe their higher power, or maybe just told themselves, if they believed in themselves, that things would work out, and they moved forward. And they moved forward even when they didn't believe in themselves, because I don't think any writer is immune to the fear and the self-loathing and the little demons that would stop us, but ultimately is not stronger than the genius that would flow through us.
Yeah. Self-doubt and fear is certainly something I struggle with every single day. I have a huge journaling process now, which has changed everything. And it's I think Elizabeth Gilbert talks about when she starts a creative project, she sits in a car and fear gets to come along, but they are never allowed to drive. So,
and they're not allowed to choose the music.
That's it.
Journaling practice. How do you dump your emotions out on the page, I guess?
Yes. Well, I think because I've gone through so much in the last few years, coming out of a narcissistic, abusive relationship, and having all these realizations of all the things that I had unwittingly kind of let myself go through because I didn't know any differently, I have been able to put that into the series that I'm currently writing, because I know now, I see the trauma. My partner's a psychologist, so he can see the trauma and work through it with me. And so writing a fictional novel is actually helping me cathartically to recover and get through this crazy 16-year period. And so that's definitely, it's been the way to channel it and heal from it. So yeah, it's an experience I had to go through and I had to learn through part of Earth School and everything else. But now I get to put that in fiction, which is, yeah, just an incredible gift, especially when other people want to read it and then tell me how much it's helped them and changed their lives. And here I was just thinking I was writing some smutty romance.
I know, right? And the patriarchy tends to look down on anything that it's outside of what it wants to understand, and like the emotions and, you know, feeling something other than rage or greed or whatever. And I just love how emotions and romance are like water. It slips through the cracks and it just heals people. What you were describing is books that healed you, like you're processing your own healing, kind of. That's the culmination. It's like the final step to share, and you're sharing with other people, which is really brave of you and awesome, because now it's healing other people. And the studies show this, like the empathy that we feel for characters, we're living through their experiences, we're learning, and it's cathartic. And I'm reading about how Sarah J. Maas, there's a great video YouTuber, Lucas Alpay, who talks about the Mass Effect and how Sarah J. Maas writes her characters with so much trauma in the beginning. And by the end, their trauma is their strength. They've capitalized it. They've turned it into literal power. It's fantasy novels too, so it's like their trauma can be like lightning that shoots out of their palms, which is awesome. and yes, I get it. I get the metaphor. It's awesome. It's great. I'm gonna enjoy it like a Marvel movie, and I also get the metaphor. But these books heal people. When I hear people raving about how much they love romantasy, I'm thinking to myself, they have trauma, and this book really helped them. It healed them, and romantasy is the most commercially successful thing right now. Mm-hmm. And people still are rolling their eyes and going, "Oh, those smutty novels, those trashy romance novels." It's like, you're healing people's lives, their trauma, their marriage. I have a friend who told me like 50 Shades of Grey changed her marriage. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting here like, okay, like all the judgment, all the hate for that book that I've even internalized. It's like, no, that was a great story, fanfic, really entertaining, and edited and written in such a way that was a page turner, and it healed my friend's marriage. Like, tell me a Wall Street Journal article that healed someone's marriage.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, the romance is doing the work, and so many people like are not able to feel their emotions, or they're told their emotions are wrong, and they're able to feel them through writing or reading these books. And that's just so powerful, and it's awesome. And it doesn't require you to be any different than what you are now. Like, I definitely wrote My Spicy Werewolves, and guess what? I was healing my kind of repressed sexuality, and I felt like it wasn't safe for me to seek out partners and have and explore that side of my biology and my life. So I was reading romance novels and then later writing romance novels and getting back in touch with that sexual side of myself, which, I mean, that's freaking unreal. And I would say, oh, these books are my therapy. And it was true. The books were my therapy. And now I get so many emails just like you get. It's like, I'm in chemotherapy and I'm out of touch with my body, or I'm in so much pain, but these books sweep me away and they make me feel good. I mean, I get regular notes like that, and you're getting regular notes. And I'm sitting here like, yeah, these stockbrokers, like, I wanted to be in like financial sales. So it's like, I think there's a lot of very creative people in sales and finance and lawyers, and they really just want to be writing poetry and sitting under a tree. And I feel for them, because we could have just more creativity in the world, and less fighting and less war. We could do it.
Absolutely. How does this mindset and this creative process of yours, how does it help you planning things and working within your business? I know you co-write as well, so you've got lots of different streams going on.
I got lots going on. I have a lot of capacity. And I was following my intuition really, really well, especially before 2020. 2020, both my kids were in diapers, and I went through a lot of a fear response. And I'm realizing now I made very suffocating decisions. I made decisions out of stress that stressed me out further. If you're in stress, it's better to just relax and get out of stress. Don't try to outwork the stress because you'll create more stress because your mind is literally shut down. All your blood isn't flowing to your prefrontal cortex, which is your creative part. And again, this is all biology. So I'm going to quote Mary Oliver again and say, let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. And that is how you come into regulation, come home where you can open the creativity. You can choose love over fear. I will tell you right now, my business would be better, even if it just means I would be in less pain and I would have been happier. My business would have been better if I had just taken more breaks. I probably would have made the same amount of money. I actually suspect I would have made 10 times as much because I would be making bolder moves, wilder moves, having way more fun, being even more ridiculous, wearing ridiculous hats on TikTok, whatever, having a blast versus this very fear-based, oh my gosh, I have to manage it. I really was in this manager mode. Like I've had success and now I have to do exactly the right thing now. And that might mean like copying what I did last year, even though I'm kind of bored with it and I want to stretch and grow. And we're meant to stretch and grow. We're meant to explore new paths. We're not meant to just create widgets in a factory. The AI can do that better than we can. So let the AI do that and you get weird. And so, yeah, I got coaching from Becca Syme starting this August. And she was like, go regulate your nervous system. Let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. So dance, yoga, roll around on the yoga mat, primal movements, definitely hip workouts with my husband, if you know what I mean. Like get back in touch with who you are and what you want and start being creative. And my coach just said to me, I can tell you're doing better because you've set goals for yourself that aren't, out of fear. And it's not like, oh, I need to make this much money. It's more like, I'm going to seek that ADHD diagnosis that I've been putting off. And I'm going to travel to see my friends in April. Like, like sensible human being decisions versus I get very focused on work, which is how I can work really hard, but it leads to being the manager. So lesson learned. And now I'm here to tell you, I heard an entrepreneur said, everyone has to learn this for themselves. You can't build up your pile of riches and expect it to make you happy. He says, everyone says that from atop their pile of money. No one believes them. They have to do it themselves. I don't know. I think that you can be happy now. And actually the money came in for me when I was like peak happy, peak joy. I wrote a sex scene for a friend. She was like, hey, you want to co-write a series? This would work. I was just writing my favorite sort of scenes, a fight scene or a sex scene, because it's description and banter and moving body parts, right? I can write those scenes very quickly. So I was doing like the easiest parts of the book for me. I was co-writing, able to write, jump around into different subgenres of romance, write mystery thriller elements with Stasia Black, write a Megaverse series that I really wanted to write and take a chance on with Tabitha Black, another Black, unrelated. I have quite a few co-writers, and that's because that's one of my strengths and one of my gifts. And again, I didn't set out like from a checklist, like, oh, successful people would do this. I followed my gut and I took mini risks like, hey, let's do a box set together. Let's do an anthology. Let's do a promotion. Oh, let's do a shared story. I'll write you a scene, one scene. And then it worked out for book one. And then we're like, okay, now we're writing 9. And yeah, I just was wandering creatively and I stopped. But honestly, I love this too much to really burn out 100% on it. So, I'd rather take a break for 10 years and come back than burn out completely. I don't think I have to though, because I'm writing more fun projects. I wrote Kinky Batman and released it last year, and I wrote Kinky Poison Ivy and released it last month. And that book, His Perfect Poison, is probably the wildest, campiest heroine I've ever written. Really a lot of fun, very voicey, but something that only Lee Savino could write. Like Kinky Poison Ivy, voicey, Mafia University, dark romance, amalgamation, some gothic elements, some lots of kink in this world based sort of on the Roman Empire. Like, what the hell? It's awesome.
That's not a genre.
And the tarot. Like the four Marthia families are the different members of the tarot. So now I get to study all the tarot and possibly base different characters on the cards. Not all, probably just the Hanged Man, because that's going to be cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds amazing. You managed to help authors, aspiring authors, in so many ways through your courses, your Facebook groups, communities, and resources. I'd love if you can share what some of those things are so that our viewers can go and sign up.
Yes, I'm really excited. I'm doing more hypnotherapy for authors on YouTube. Please find me on Lee Savino YouTube. And any video you watch will help me get to the cutoff point where they will allow me to demonetize my meditation videos. They have ads running on them now, so they're not great meditation videos. I am doing live. I am recording the hypnotherapy live and then putting the recordings up on YouTube. Just reach out to me if you want to figure out. I've posted in my Millionaire Author group. So I have a Millionaire Author Mastermind group on Facebook, which is a lot of indie authors who've already made money, who are looking to scale, are in there. I don't really talk about the book being for newer authors. It really is, business focused. You're welcome in there. Feel free to lurk. If you have a success story to share, we celebrate each other. We cheer each other on, no matter your level of success, honestly, because the newbies today are going to be dominating the new market. You know what I mean? Like the market changes, it shifts. And, I pretty much stick to the fundamentals because I'm good at that. I'm realizing, but the new stuff comes along and people can just blow up their careers really fast. And that's really fun and exciting to watch. And it's good to see what new ways to engage readers are out there, new ways to tell stories, new ways to maybe get your movies and books into film. Yeah. Anyway, there's a lot of opportunity coming, and I need everyone else to pay attention because I tend to not be an early adapter. It's just I'm still reading the classics. Okay. I don't want to download another app.
No, another social media. No.
Yeah, that's fun for me. I'm going to read about the tarot more for some reason. Anyway, but yes, please join the Millionaire Author Mastermind, or find me on YouTube and lurk or say hello. I love talking with other writers and authors. I do have courses because if people come to me hey, how do I build my career and make money? It's well, there it all is, And I run a book marketing boot camp. Lately, it's been twice a year, January and July, when I really want to focus on marketing my books. And I have teachers come in, teach about marketing practices. I teach, mostly I cheerlead people and tell them that they're great marketers because they're creatives and they're storytellers and that they can do it and they can absolutely email their readers and you can do it. That's my, my best form of teaching is yes, now write your email, now send it. You did it. Yay. Let's celebrate. So there's some mirroring going on, show up and do the work. And cause this can be a very isolating business. You're running this podcast to make connection. And we need that because otherwise you're alone in your room. You release 400 pages every once in a while, all at once. But when do you connect with people other than, I guess the Bronte sisters and Mary Shelley, if you're reading, and Rachel Pollack, who wrote an amazing book on tarot, by the way. Those are my gal pals right there. Yeah. But I think come into the Facebook group if you want. There are other more newbie Facebook groups, but you're welcome. Just come and hang out because it's a positive space.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being a positive voice in today's world and the craziness that is going on, and for helping to give us all permission and allowing us to be more weird and wild and beautiful. So I appreciate you so much, and I have so much gratitude for you coming on to the show today. And just thank you so much. I love you.
Thank you. I love you too. It's so great to meet you from across the world. And maybe one day we'll be on the same continent and that'll be awesome.
What an inspiring conversation. I hope Lee's story reminded you that there's no one right way to be a writer, and that your creative voice is powerful no matter where you are on your journey. If something Lee said today lit a fire in you, don't let it fade. Take a moment to jot down what stood out, or better yet, take one small action toward your writing goals today. And if you're looking for support, guidance, or just a little extra inspiration, head over to serenadepublishing.com. You'll find everything you need to help you write, publish, and thrive as an author. Thanks for watching today, and I'll see you next time on The Right Podcast. Thanks so much for listening to The Right Podcast with Sarah Williams. If you enjoyed today's episode, it would mean the world if you'd leave a review and share the show with your writer friends. It helps more creatives find their way to us. And don't forget to follow Serenade Publishing on Instagram and TikTok for more writing tips, publishing advice, and exciting events to keep you inspired. Keep writing, keep dreaming, and know that I'm here to support you every word of the way.